News, hopeful news, let's put it that way, but still we're dealing with a stage 6 load shedding tonight and very likely tomorrow as well. eNCA reporters are joining us now from two different parts. We heard a little earlier from Pretoria, but now we've got Nobesuthu Hejana in Cape Town and Moloto in Bloemfontein. So let's start in the mother city, Nobesuthu. Good evening to you. We know that City of Cape Town customers are only on stage 4, which makes us very resentful. But of course, those who pay directly to Eskom in the city are also on stage 6. I would imagine there's a fair amount of frustration nonetheless.
Certainly, Sally. In fact, where we are at the Grand Palace, a lot of people are only finding out from our interactions with them that those who are supplied by Eskom are currently on stage 6. I was speaking to just one gentleman just a few minutes ago, and he was actually shocked and said, well, when he gets home, he's pretty sure that by the time he gets home, there won't be power. So he's not sure if he'll be able to make dinner for this evening. But earlier on, we were in Mangaung, where we spoke to two residents at the Karen court. They were very frustrated. They're saying that the government is to blame for this. They vote the leaders into power, but each and every year there's the same problem of load shedding. And they were actually saying that if they are unable to sort of like work out what is best for the people or citizens in the country, they should then step down. In fact, one elderly person was saying that President Ramaphosa must take actions because this is too much for them, especially in that community, because when the power is off, gangsters, they take over, and some people are even going as far as stealing those cables. So when the power is supposed to be back, they are still in the dark because they don't have cables. But let's take a listen to what they said earlier on.
What they give for us, they steal it back. It's unfair, man. I'm fed up of this government. I'm fed up of him. Because he don't care about us. They don't just care about their people. They don't care about us. When you go, you just sit, and they say the lights is off. What if the gangsters rob our old people? What is he going to do? He's only going to say, I'm sorry. Because he don't care about us, man. You must care about your people, man. We are the people that vote for them also, man. We are sick of them, man. Because unfair every bloody time he's give load shedding. I'm fed up of Sarah Ramaphosa, man.
Load shedding is a hell of a problem in the morning. When people's going to work, the gangsters rob the people here. They do everything there, and there's old people who stay hungry. Then they come here, they want... Nobody's got guests. I'm looking after a disabled child who needs his breakfast in the morning. But in time, I must go look for water, people to give me water for that child, to feed that child.
Yeah, fed up indeed. Talk to me about the impact on business, because that's really where things are going to get extremely difficult.
So we went to a fast food shop in Athlone where we spoke to Rafiq Parker, who was saying that it's been the same for all these years, so he had to make alternative by buying a generator, but he's saying that it's costing his business a lot, and also with the waiting period of when his customers have to wait for food after placing an order, when the power goes off, it takes time. So although they are able to make sure that they keep the lights on at the store and they keep their employers to work, or rather having them at work, but the financial impact is too much. So he also shared some of his frustrations and also talking about what he had to do to ensure that the business continued. Let's hear what he had to say.
It does take a lot of energy out of us into preparing for longer and more regular stages of blackouts. But our customers do understand that during the blackout periods, our preparation time takes a bit longer, but we still sell them the best. We serve them the best. Please, Eskom, sort out your problems. As a running concern, they're not doing a good job. They're putting us... Look, we sell a lot of short shelf-dated stuff, like fresh products, and we cannot take it out of a freezer and re-refrigerate. It's bad for the product. So our ordering system has changed, our way of preparation has changed, every day you have to find new loopholes to sustain yourself.
Yeah, and you know, Nobesuthu, it's often those entrepreneurs that are really trying to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, innovative, really trying to sort out a business situation, and then something like load shedding can really have a terrible impact. Thank you very much for that update from Cape Town. Let's now move to Mangaung. Now, Moloto, Bloemfontein is not really known for its rush hour traffic. So it looks fairly sedate behind you. I would imagine, though, that stage 6 is having a real impact in terms of people's daily lives and trying to run small businesses. Tell us what you're seeing.
Hello, Sally. Well, the city of Roses, Bloemfontein, large parts of it, I understand, and I was made to understand, were also affected by this rolling blackouts. But where we are, I'm sure a lot of our viewers, well, I guess those who do not have electricity would not even be able to see this. This is an area called Pahameng, which is a part of Bochabela, one of the townships just outside Bloemfontein. As you can see behind me on this major street called Mushweshwe Street, there are lights. So these people here have electricity. But I was told earlier that in the early hours of this morning, they had load shedding for about 2 to 3 hours. Now, Sally, I must point out that I did go onto the social media pages of one company called Sentlek. So this is an entity that is entirely owned by Mangaung Metro. So they are a service provider providing electricity to the areas around Bloemfontein and nearby areas. So they issued out a list of places that would be affected by electricity. Interestingly, some of them include hospitals such as Mediclinic, but also hospitals such as Pasteur Hospital, I beg your pardon, as well as Orange Hospital and National Hospital. So I don't know, Sally, whether there were interruptions of operations at those hospitals or whether they have generators to ensure that when there is electricity, at least operations continue. But when you look at the responses or reactions by ordinary people of this particular city when they see this alert that there's going to be a rolling load shedding, they are certainly unhappy, with some of them saying that this is very unfair. In fact, one of them is saying that, wow, in the United States we see they are selling more electric cars, and yet here in South Africa we are back to the dark ages. So you get a sense that people are really saying, even if these electric cars were to come here, are we going to be able to electrify them? But generally, yes. Earlier when I was speaking to some of the business owners here in this township, they were unhappy, saying that, you know, the problem with this load shedding, when it happens, their operations, they tend to stop. One of them telling me that he's selling alcohol, and it is impossible entirely to sell alcohol that is not cold, a beer that is not cold. Sally?
Yeah, not a pleasant experience, a beer that is not cold, especially after a long day. Oh, and the lights have just gone out behind you. That looks like real live action shot of load shedding coming to us from Bloemfontein. And it's astonishing, actually, to see it in that moment, because suddenly it just feels so very different behind you. And interesting what you're telling us, because the reality is, for those small businesses and for the hospitals, the schools, every alternative plan, whether it's a generator or an inverter, of course, costs money, and times are incredibly tight as it is. Moloto, in a suddenly dark Bloemfontein, thank you very much for chatting to us this evening in Nobesuthu Hejana, where it seems the lights are still on for now in the city of Cape Town. Thank you very much to both of you for that update. Oh, my word. That was quite something to see in action. All right. So